What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Help Coin, your home for fixing your crypto. My name is Ripple Van Winkle, and I'm your host. I hope you're having a great day. Today is December 22nd. It looks like the NFL is about to start Fable Soccer Championship Day. I hope that both the Dolphins and the Redskins have great games. Both teams' running backs and wideouts scored a lot of points. They do everything they can for me to lock into dub and win my first fantasy soccer title. Right now, it's getting pretty close. Derrick Henry is leaving tonight. He's already used up Denver's defense, so they get 2 points, which is a good thing. Warriors kickers from Pittsburgh and Scouse, he did fine. Not bad at all. I believe we can do better than him. I got Seattle's kicker, but Henry had a terrible afternoon. I'm just glad he didn't score a lot of points. Still ahead by more than 20 points. I need to catch up, but they're calling for a 5-on-5 battle. Let's see how this episode goes. A lot of making and cooking. We have a YouTube rival who wants to get into the crypto game. What about that one? You might have heard of a site called Rumble. We're going to look at that old XRP chart and give you a new one. We are going to match it to where we are sitting now. We are also going to do Bitcoin and some Chainlink stuff. After that, we'll look into this. Until we pay attention to it, there are reports that it comes from Robinhood or Bitstamp. What does swaps do all day? Come into the XRP system for sure. Because of this, the game is set up in a way that makes it good for nighttime monsters. We're going to win. You should pay more. Pete should take that top spot. This is how we do it. In the same way, let's jump into a Bitcoin worth $97,212. That's down 9.3% in the last 24 hours. Ethereum, which is worth $3.85 right now, is down 2.3%. There are no changes to the value of USDT or USDC as they are both pegged to the US dollar. The value of XRP is currently $2.27. 1.18% in the purple shows that it's getting a little better at the downhill edge. The total value of all cryptocurrencies on the market is $354 million. The next set of fireworks will be very important, and they will happen in the first quarter. The reversal will happen around tax time. So March and April are coming up before we get the beautiful blow-off tops that are coming to crypto after 25. There is no change. You might be the first person to know if it does change. Making sure that bell is on is important. There is a life circle every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, except for next week when Wednesday is Christmas. So the new show, or should I say the live show, will begin on January 1st. The Bitcoin bull cycle is still going strong, even though the price has dropped. That's why it says right here in his stories that they come from cryptominute.com in a rather strange way. Bitcoin's price rose to a new all-time high of $1.82,000, but then dropped about 70%, sending the value of the asset to a low point between 92 and 81. I now stand by my statement that Bitcoin will never drop below 90K during this bull run. So far in this bull cycle, I've been right, and I still think that. This big drop in rates is due to the current policy statement from the U.S. Federal Reserve, which approved another 25 basis point fee cut at its most recent foreign currency meeting. Hobby fee sends a strong signal to the crypto market. The Federal Reserve also announced plans to lower its original goal for interest rate cuts in 25 from 4%, which would only cause investors to sell a lot of risky assets as expected. When the price of Bitcoin dropped by a huge amount, it raised concerns about the asset's future, especially since Bitcoin has been going up since October, when the crypto bull run began. So I keep saying how important it is to zoom out these days. The main coin has gone up from 60,200 to more than 100,000. That's more than a $40,000 increase in the fee. One of them says that Bitcoin's distance from its MA200 and SMA 366 shows that the asset's bullish shape is still intact. A lot of people want to look at the 15-minute or 24-hour chart, but what you should really be doing is zooming out and looking at this from the point of view of 3 or 6 months. If you did this and went back to October, you would see that many of those properties were still moving in a strong direction, even though Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market went down. That's just how things usually work during a crypto bull run. We're not just going to keep going for walks up. Once the changes are done and we find a new source of help, we can keep going on our way to the top. The only times you see these markets keep going up are when there are blow-off peaks and valleys. At that point, you'll notice that the charge starts to go down and won't go back up. It will start to go back as soon as money starts to move away, even from people who take money or turn things into things that haven't started to run yet. Don't forget that it's not yet season. as long as Bitcoin is entertaining, and as long as Bitcoin controls what the market does, there is something to keep in mind right here. Then we talk about this Tether has invested $7.7 million in a site for sharing videos. Shares of Rumble have gone up over 41% of states. Rumble is in talks for a $7.5 million strategic investment from stablecoin giant Rumble. Will use the $250 million up money to run its business and the rest to pay for a smooth offer for up to 70 million shares of its common stock, which is currently trading at a price of $7.0 per share. According to the news release from Friday, the price of $7.5 is the same as the percentage of Tether that is being bought. The CEO of Rumble says, I really agree with Tether as a super partner that would position a rocket percent on the back of Rumble as we get ready for our next section of growth. Legacy media has been losing its power, which makes it possible for systems like Rumble to offer a real, non-sensitive chance to connect CEO Paolo. That's interesting. If I had to guess, the next levels for Rumble will be really big. As an example, if YouTube doesn't do anything about crypto payouts or doesn't even do payouts, we don't need to go that far to accept crypto payments. The fact that Rumble is using Tether means that there is some kind of plan for cryptocurrencies, both the tipping revenue platform and USDT. This plan will bring Tether to the platform. What this is going to do is start a fire under YouTube's spot. It will be interesting to see how YouTube reacts to this. It's possible that YouTube doesn't support Tether and instead uses RLUSD as its backing. If so, they might start letting people pay for things with solid coins or letting rules or fees be paid for in cryptocurrencies, which would be interesting to this parent. This is pretty important knowledge because YouTube isn't going to sit back and let Rumble go on. And this makes us think of the MoneyGram Western Union presented that they were going to be getting, or was it MoneyGram announced that they were going to be getting, or was it MoneyGram announced that they were going to be working with Ripple? Back in the day, MoneyGram owned half of Western Union's business. But what did we see Western Union do? A few years later, they announced they were getting into digital property. Now we know that MoneyGram is working with Stella. Using Stella's network and USDC money, they are letting people on and off the network. In order to get past Western Union, they knew they had to stir things up, so Graham took the first step. How are they going to make things different? Reduce your business costs on the back end, speed up time, and lower the cost to the customer. This is exactly what virtual assets do here. We'll skip over the charts for the sake of time in this video. We'll talk about them in the 2D video tomorrow, but I want to make sure we cover this. I had never heard of them. They got a gold check mark. Does that really mean anything? No, it's a pay-to-play game. If you pay enough, you can get a gold check mark. But it looks like they may be starting to understand the exchange because Andrew Device pointed this out. He says that some of the world's top 30 banks are about to launch their crypto products with Bitstamp and partnerships with Ripple. I agree that this is the FX market insurance for on and off ramps and the agreement provided by Ripple, just like the picture with the Torah. Because of the size and reach of the top 30 foreign central banks that plan to use Bitstamp to offer crypto